Hi there, everybody.
Hey, everybody. I didn't know if you were frozen there, Chris, for a
I,
second. I didn't. Yeah, exact action shot.
Chris,
Welcome
Chris is
to
frozen.
welcome everybody. We're just goofing around. Okay, we have a lot in store for you today. So, Chris, it's a short chapter today, right? So we are working our way through the last part of the book, but it's a short chapter. We got a lot of stuff to bring up. So welcome to the show, Chris. Let's go for our traditional opening.
All right, I'm Chris Moore and the Tipsy Toaster. Welcome to the Battlestar. Oh, I was just thinking of the other thing we were talking about earlier. We don't want to leak that one out yet.
Not yet.
So, welcome to Interfleet Broadcasting. We're a Battlestar Galactica science fiction related type shows, 70s, 80s, 90s type things. Things that we grew up as kids. So we'll talk about really cool collectibles. We'll talk about really cool shows, some trivia and everything else. And with me is my co-subject matter expert in the subjects, Pete.
I'll take it. Yes. Hey, everybody. I'm New York Pete, and welcome to the show. Thanks for the intro, Chris. Let's just toast to the fans. Let's get that out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
The
This is the best part of the show. I mean, this is the great good. This is a good part of the show.
one of the best parts of the show.
One of the best parts of the show. We can't say
One
it's
of
the
the
best part
best
of the show.
parts. Yes. No, no. It is. The fans are not the
Yes,
drinking. The
the
drinking is
drinking.
great.
Yeah.
The drinking is good, and we're going to work on that. We got something in store for everybody.
Yes, we have something really cool
However,
coming.
However, the fans fuel the fleet, as you
Darn
would say,
right.
Chris. And so, we traditionally toast to them, and today is not any different than that. So, to the fans.
Yep. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a fan with us. And there we go. So, fans fuel the
Ooh,
fleet.
there you go. There you go. To the fans. All
I'm always
right.
scared of drinking in front of this microphone because I'm afraid it's going to go gulp, gulp, gulp.
Oh, that might be a little. Might be slightly funny. Slightly funny. Okay. So Chris, I am excited. I'm very excited.
Oh
We got a
yes.
lot of stuff going on. All right. First of all, let's just quickly recap some of the highlights of what we were posting. You found a new game, and it's called Star Exodus.
Yes.
And tell me about it.
So, if you haven't had a chance, so one of the things, if you ever played, I believe it's from the, don't quote me on this, I think it's from the same company or same genre, from Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. If you haven't seen that one, look that one up. Especially if you're a fan like I was of the, when I was growing up, I used to play Dungeons and Dragons a lot. Pete used to do the same thing. I used to play board games.
Oh yeah,
We used to do a lot of board games in regards to a company called Avalon Hill. A lot
all
of the
the
war
time.
games, those kind of things. So, the games that I always play on Xbox or whatever else, I do like Destiny and those things. But the thing is it's not a strategy as much as I like this. So when I first got Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, it opened up a whole new world for me because it was like a board game on the computer. It was strategic moves. You moved, they moved, you moved certain ones around. It's a really cool game. Um, they just stopped supporting that. But it's still out there. It's not like it's not. They're not making anything new on it. It was good for like 3 years. So there's lots of little pieces to it that are available. So I've been looking around, watching the see what else has come out, and this thing called Star Exodus comes out, and I'm like, what could this be, dude? It's Battlestar Galactica rewritten. It's
Really?
yeah they're going from they're it's a ragtag fleet fleeing from the home colony that was
That's
destroyed
been
by another
destroyed, right?
company,
Yeah.
and they're a ragtag fleet, and then you have to go find fuel, you have to go, and then you inside the ships you can actually put different modules in the ships.
Modules?
So you're like, hey, I got living modules, so my population can increase. And then, well, with the population increase, you have to go over here and add food modules on these other ships. And then, of course, you have to make, flights out to keep the bad guys from coming at you. So this is going to be, it's not out quite yet. It's coming out soon, but it's going to be I think my next game in regards to if you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. It's called Star Exodus, and you get the idea of Battlestar and Exodus. You pretty much you've got this game, and it looks pretty fun. I think I'm definitely going to be purchasing this one for sure, but it looks
It
like a
sounds a
lot
little
of
bit
fun.
like a Sim City in space thing.
Yeah, it's like a Sim Space, Sim
Yeah.
Exodus, or Sim Battlestar. Oh, there's
Yeah,
another
yeah,
good
it's got that flavor. I looked at it real quick also.
one.
So you also picked up on the Babylon 5 upgrade? I mean, for the fans that are
Yes,
Babylon 5
so
fans, man,
it's
it's
it's a funny upgrade. So when they filmed Babylon 5, they did film it in 16 by 9, but the CGI scenes are 4 by 3. No matter what you do, they're stuck in 4 by 3. So HBO Max has picked up Babylon 5, and what they're going to do, what they've done, is they have upgraded they've upgraded the quality to, I guess, to Blu-ray, beyond Blu-ray type quality, almost 4K, not quite 4K. We always wish for 4K, but
yeah.
they upgraded the quality and they left it 4 by 3 so they could upgrade the quality of the CGI as well as the
Oh,
quality of the show. So it's
okay.
still 4 by 3 square block, but the quality is much better. It's going to be much better on the on HBO Max. I don't have HBO Max yet, and it's that thing that's like, doggone it, I have Disney Plus and I've got CBS All Access and I've got everything but Hulu and of course now HBO Max. So now I got Babylon 5 and it's
Listen,
going to be upgraded. I'm going to have to go. Do I go
yeah,
ahead and go for
Babylon
this one too?
5.
So
Great show, man, and I know a lot of fans out there.
did you see the
Um,
George Clooney nose?
well, I don't know how to take it, man. So before I dived into that, right? Because we're Buck Rogers fans. I went to see it in the movies, right? So when they released the actual movie, and if I'm not mistaken, they timed it so that the movie came out first and then the show right after. I
Right,
went to it.
right.
I got to see the film, and it was exciting. And I really enjoyed it. So I'm not sure what to do with this announcement, right? I don't know if they're actually testing the water, or like what exactly they're doing, right? So George Clooney is supposedly in. uh,
Somebody mentioned in the post Woody Harrelson. I said,
Woody
wow.
Harrelson. Oh man, see, that's why I just wanted to take a step away from what the heck is this actually going to be? Is this legit? Do you
well, well,
right?
and
Is
it's
it just one of these rumors or
yeah, and
well
once again, it's
placed?
the studio that he runs is bought into it, so it doesn't mean exactly that he's going to star in it, but it's that, hey, if I own the studio, I'm going to be the star type thing, or the director for sure. But he's definitely a producer
Or
on the show.
yeah, maybe he's just
So
going to be the executive producer cameo. Is it going
yeah,
to be tongue in cheek? Is it going to be a cheese fest? Is it going to be kind of serious?
who is the?
I
Well, here's a trivia for you because I don't remember. Maybe somebody else in the audience does. What was the name of the guy who was the scientist with
Dr.
Wilma?
Theopolis.
No, no, not was it not Dr. Theopolis? That was the circle guy. The
Yeah,
guy
he's the
that
one of
was
the most
with
important
the
guys.
older guy with the white hair. Um,
Oh man, oh he was in I think second or third season when they brought him
oh no,
on.
he was in the very first one, wasn't he? Yeah.
No,
Oh,
who are you talking about? You're not talking about her dad, right? Or the
Wilma
guy that
and yeah, I think it's her dad.
her father,
It's the star,
her
one of the
father.
stars of the show.
Yeah, because
So
later on there
that
was
could be
another
George
older
Clooney. Is
guy.
what I was leading to. That would be a better
Ooh,
George Clooney because he's got the
ooh,
salt and pepper
yeah,
hair
yeah,
type thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Except that Clooney doesn't do. I don't think he's too good for the. I don't see him as a ham. I'd rather it be a little more, slightly more serious than not. I don't know if they were going to do it. I mean, because just it's Clooney, man. I mean, he
yeah.
could bring it on. I don't know. So I didn't really dive into it because sometimes I'm very disappointed when I read those things. So I just kind of held off.
Why?
Um,
Why?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's like the new
Uh,
Battlestar. It's like, why? Why would you
yeah,
do that? Why would you do that?
there's a interesting project going on. Renegades. the
Yes.
Naira Phase 2, I think it's called, with Nichelle Nichols is in it, and um, is Walter Koenig. I think he's also in it as well.
Right. I think we mentioned this
We
last
did, right?
last thing. Yep. We
Yes.
mentioned this
All
last
right.
time.
So
This is going to be her last performance. We did reach out. We have not heard back from them yet. I did reach out to see
okay,
if they were willing to come on the show to see if they wanted to kind of the
that'd be kind of cool.
plug their money raising, and of course also tell us about it. I'm in. I mean, I'm already gonna. I've already have submitted. I think the low end on it. Maybe I'll go higher later, but
And we did
the
mention
crowdfunding
also
thing.
there is a documentary that's going to be done for Star Trek Voyager, and that's out there. And
Yes,
I
that's being
believe it
crowdfunded
starts
also.
March 1st. I believe is when they open it up. So they were sending out preliminary
Right.
emails to everybody that was involved in the last ones, which I've been, and so
And
I
we
think
reached
that's
out
going to
to
be a
them
worthy.
too. And if you're out there and
Hopefully,
you're listening in somehow, or somebody knows these people, rattle their
yeah,
cage.
a little bit. Yeah, we'd love to have you
ask them.
on. I mean,
Ask
we're
them.
supporters.
What is your problem? You should get with IFB. That's exactly what you should be telling them.
Absolutely, 100%. And so that brings us to the fork in the road, Chris. So do we go to um, some of the future stuff we got on, or do we actually talk about some of the acquisitions? Because I have acquisitions.
Ooh.
I don't have. I'm not
Acquisitions
bringing
make it
all of them.
sound so sexy. You know that, right?
That's the whole
Acquisitions.
point.
Yeah. Of
That's
course.
why I
We
said
have
it that way.
acquisitions.
When did that ever? Chris, please
But
calm down.
I'm fine.
Calm down. Calm down.
I mean,
Give it a second. Deep breath and watch this. Watch. Bam!
ooh,
There. How about that?
Ooh,
Oh, look at
those are
this.
nice wrappers.
Mint.
Oh my gosh,
Mint.
they're not open yet.
Yeah.
What does it
Guess
say on the
what?
back? What does it say on the back of the?
Oh,
There's got a
you know
one
what it
on the
says?
back of one.
Hold on. Okay, hold on.
What does it
There's
say?
gum inside of these, and you're gonna have
Ooh.
to eat one.
Oh,
You're gonna eat the gum.
I'll eat the gum. Heck with it.
All right.
The most exciting new lollipop fun idea for kids since the invention of candy. Oh, that's that blow pop probably.
Yeah.
Gosh, I
And
remember
check
those.
this one out.
I can
Check this
taste,
out.
or I can already taste the freaking bazooka. Yep, the bubble gum from those things already. I can almost smell and taste them through the camera.
Wait, what?
Is it in one piece?
This one's in one piece, and it's not stuck to the card. Oh, this one's stuck to the card.
Oh,
This one's
no.
not.
That's
Oh,
the
so
bad
we're
thing. You get
splitting them
stuck to
up.
the card, then the card's ruined.
Oh no, dude, I watched some YouTubes, and some rubber cement or steam will take them right off the cards, and then you can eat the gum. So I am splitting these. I have about 9 of these, and I'm sending Chris half of them. And Chris
cool.
promised. Yes,
Thank
Chris
you.
promised
Christmas
to
early.
eat. Yep, and he's gonna eat one of those sticks of gum from
I
the
promise, since
original
you're sending them to
Battlestar
me,
Galactica.
since you're sending them to me, I will eat one of those sticks of gum.
Yay!
I will
All right.
have a bucket close by just in case, and medical will be on standby, just in case it's poisonous. Remember the old Mr.
not.
Yuck stickers? And remember the Yuck stickers? Oh, what the heck was it? Yeah, it was Mr. Yuck, I think, and it was the Poison Control Center. I'll have to have that on standby.
Have it on standby, and have your little button in case you got to call for help.
Yeah.
Like the ones
Yeah.
I've fallen, I've poisoned
I chewed
myself.
bubblegum that's older than I am, and I can't get up. Well, actually, it won't be
Oh,
older
man.
than I am, but it'll be 13 years. I would have been 13 years old, so yeah.
It's like 40. It's 40 years old, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's
42 years old.
These are original. These are 1978, and oh man, it's rattling around. Oh, I love it. Lola says she'll eat one too. Yes, Lola. Awesome. Lee Jacobson's on with us too tonight.
Cool.
So quick, we got. Oh, so I wanted to show this. I don't know how many. I'm sure a lot of the fans have this. The Battlestar Galactica, the photo story.
It's so funny. I couldn't find mine,
Look what it
today,
says up on top there.
and I was
See,
going through.
this is not a
eBay.
book. Not a book.
It's the
Full color
biggest
photo adventure.
and best. Hang on. Let's do this. There we go. Now that'd be better.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Down. There we go.
Gander on that.
Not a book. It's the biggest and full color photo adventure ever. Dun dun dun.
Oh yeah. Dun dun dun. This is a great. I'm open up to a good picture. So, oh yeah, look at this. Look at the star maps on this. Oh, can you see the star maps? This is so cool, man.
I love the way they blended the book, the movie pictures, and a comic insert together.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's a hybrid. Now I have one, but I cannot find it. So
you gotta get.
Funny.
Come on,
it's so
Chris,
funny.
Come on.
It's so funny that you did this because you're like, oh yeah, look what I found, and I'm like, dude, I just literally less than 2 hours ago. We must be on the same wavelength. I bought one off eBay just like 2 hours ago, right before we started that. Before you showed that, and
you're using that the Imperious Leader helmet. That has a special networks.
It's because we injected those nanites into you, so we're good.
yeah. So with the photo story, I got this, Chris.
That's nothing special. We've got those.
Nothing. Oh well, check this out though. In the back of this book,
holy cow! It's a library edition.
And it still has
Oh my gosh! When's the last time somebody checked that out? Oh, you covered up the names. They're gonna upside down. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. I covered up the names because it wouldn't be fair to them. There you go.
It was first checked out in '78. Wow.
Yeah.
Does it have which library this is from?
No, it doesn't.
No.
Last time it was checked out was 1981. And you know what? It looks kind of strange, because it has the plastic that libraries use. You can see the inside. There's because it looked like it was kind of like
a whole lot better too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it doesn't say. You know what? I'm thinking it was like the school library, like in the classroom. Maybe somebody, maybe a teacher had a copy.
Yeah.
And so that came with the photo story. I thought it was kind of cool.
That is
and
cool.
yeah. So
you're like, oh, I want the best edition I can get. But sometimes when you get like a library edition, that's just something that's cool. So you actually, it's kind of like a piece of the history. Look, the person signed this out in 1978 for the first time in December of 1978. So it makes you wonder,
hot off the press.
Makes you wonder, when did that book get into the library? Curious when it got input into the library. That would be kind of interesting to see, because it was December of 1978. The first airing, of course, the movie. This probably came from the movie because the movie's a little earlier. But the first airing was in September of '78.
I have a hunch.
December of '78, the book had already come out. So
yeah, I bet you it was one of these Scholastic versions, and that's how they got it that quick into the school. I bet you school thing. I can't imagine that it's not. But I have one last little thing I want to share with you guys, and that is
stuff that you've got.
This. Check this out.
A plastic bag? That's awesome.
With plastic things inside. Yeah, let's flip it over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Check this out here. Can you see?
Oh, look.
That they look like...
It looks like a viper that got shot down by a raider.
Okay. See, you had to put the Cylon spin on it. I am not surprised. However, you are partially correct. It is a Lego-style viper that I picked up. And this company sends it all with instructions, and it has a QR code so that you could actually get the picture.
Back up again. I'm sorry, I didn't put it full screen so everybody can see it better. My fault, everybody. Sorry.
Yeah. So QR scan will give you one of those really detailed, booklets on how to actually instructions to put it together. Sort of like a Lego instruction thing. So that's that.
You know what we ought to do with that is oh wow. What we ought to do with that is got to film yourself putting it together, and we'll speed it up. We'll put it
okay,
we'll
cool.
Make a time lapse out of it.
All right, let's do that. That company also promises to do a Battlestar, an actual Battlestar. So looking forward to that. I know there's a lot of. I mean, Legos and this type of block building is popular. I know a lot of guys. I met some on Facebook on one of the groups, and he actually made a land ram, and he sent me. He actually sent me a breakdown, a PDF on what you have to buy. So you got to go to like the
Oh,
Lego
cool.
store with the
Okay.
list, and you can
So
yeah,
you go to Lego
and you
store and
build the
buy. I
land ram.
need six
Yep.
2x2 blocks.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So when I saw this, I was like, this is almost like a cheat because it comes together, but
Right.
there's a lot of pieces. But this one guy, and I apologize for not getting your name, but I have it written down, and I will bring that up on a future show because he was kind enough to send me lists. It was a while ago. This was last year,
Hmm.
and it's Land Ram. You could do the shuttle, Galactica, the original shuttle, original Land Ram, and a Viper as well. But this thing came all together, so I was like, oh, what the heck? Um, so yeah, yeah,
Easy
we'll
button.
we'll put that
That
on.
was easy.
Yeah, boom. But you just got to put it together.
Yeah.
So, Chris, you'd mentioned that this chapter is a short chapter. So I
But that doesn't mean
offered
anything for us. We could talk about two
no
sentences for like 2 hours.
for 2 hours.
We won't
And
do that
we
to
have
everybody. Okay, say it, Lola Lee. We won't do that to you. We're sorry. No,
not
it's
yet,
not a
not
threat.
not
Don't
yet.
leave us. Don't leave us. It's not
Don't
a
leave
threat.
us. No. And John One is with us.
Hey,
Bradley
John.
Massey is with us. So welcome to the show, guys. I wanted to bring up some of the lineup, Chris, which it's something that we haven't done a lot of, but
It's exciting.
lineup,
It's
yeah,
exciting.
it is, guys.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we're
It's
doing right a two-part tribute.
hang on. Let me give you the close up for this. There we go. I do a drum roll, but I don't have it listed. I got to put that in.
Come on, man. There we
Hang on.
go. A two-part tribute. Boom. So Richard Hatch tribute with Dave Karen, February 7, 8 p.m. on Sunday. And yes, it is Super Bowl Sunday, but that's neither here nor there.
I don't watch the Super
We
Bowl
have
anyways. It's only good for the
well,
commercials.
if your teams are not in, you know what? There's nowhere better than to come and hang out with us. So yeah, we're going to do a tribute, and a whole bunch of fans have actually sent us some of their experiences and pictures from meeting Richard Hatch, and Chris, you got some of your stuff as well,
Yes.
and we're gonna get into his projects, his life, Battlestar Galactica, Captain Apollo.
Look at the different
We'll
movies he
talk.
did. Yes.
Oh man, there's one that we both watched. I believe it was his last movie, Chris, that
Diminuendo.
we liked a lot. Yeah, and
Diminuendo.
it's
If you haven't seen that, it's a really good movie.
it's
It's not for
controversial.
kids. I'll put it that way.
No, definitely not for kids, but it's controversial. There are fans that are not happy with it for whatever reason, and I think it's
Yes.
worthy of us talking about it. At least we'll go over it. So if you haven't
Right.
watched it, I think as an homage to Richard Hatch, you should definitely go out because it's a tour de force in terms of his acting.
Right. We're gonna
So
kind of go through his acting career a little bit and show a couple of things as we go through it. But we also have a person with us who's actually met him, and then we have
Yes,
keep
and
going.
worked with him.
We have a part 2 for that.
Yes, we do. We definitely have a part two, and the part two of the tribute is someone that was very close to Richard Hatch and actually worked with him substantially. Did a lot of things and projects, and he is
And
coming to the show.
yeah, we won't
We're gonna
mention the
have
names, Pete. Let's not to mention the name as of quite yet because I just want to make
okay.
sure. I mean, he's coming on the show for sure, but
He's committed.
he's committed. So
Yeah.
that we're in the preliminary phases of this. So
Okay. So
that would
you
be
can
an
get
easy
a
way to
date
sing
yet,
it.
right?
But he is.
He's coming.
He's coming. He's
Okay.
committed. We're gonna do some just a couple more back and forth. We're in email with him right now. Actually, email with his what do you
Agent.
call it? His agent style.
Publicist or
His
agent?
publicist.
Yeah.
So we're in back and
And
forth with
so
a publicist, and so he's this person was extremely close to Richard Hatch,
Yes.
and was going to give us some really good insights and stuff that you haven't seen before. It's not on the internet anywhere.
Right.
I guarantee
Correct.
it.
However, he's a professional in the business,
yes.
and he produced things
Hmm.
with Richard Hatch, and was
Yep.
a very close friend, family wise as well, friend of the family.
Yep.
So that's for our second part of the tribute. The first part, of course, we have Dave Karen, who also got to know Richard Hatch and work with him, and actually recorded interviews with him. And so he's got some interesting background information, firsthand information that he's going to share with us. Dave's a real cool guy, and we've met with him and spoke with him, and so he's going to give us some insights that he's never shared before. And he's been a fan since like Chris and I from the beginning, and we're going to get some really really interesting backstories on just how great a guy Mr. Hatch really was. He was the real deal in terms of Battlestar Galactica, sincerity, and just being all in all really nice guy. And so we're going to hear from people that actually got the deal with him, meet with him, not only as a fan but then work with him. So that was kind of cool. So that's our part one, and then the part two will be someone that was on another level,
Right.
and so that's
a
really cool.
here's a hint for part two. You ready? This will be the hint you're gonna get.
Oh, and you know what? It's interesting that our
That's the hint.
part one leads right into part two.
Yes.
So there is a bridge. There's a really strong segue between the one and the other. So it's fantastic, guys. We're not going to let you down as usual. And then so we also have another big name, and this one I'm not sure if we mentioned. I think we mentioned it, but none
I
other than
think we've
New
mentioned it,
York.
but it was like we're planning it, but now we have a date.
Okay. Yeah, this is for real now. Solid. New York Times national bestseller. He is someone that worked on a Battlestar Galactica graphic novel, and very successful. And he's worked with all the sci-fi franchises, the top ones that you could name, whether it be Star Trek, Star Wars, Disney, in and of itself, and of course, our beloved Battlestar Galactica. He's actually a fan. John Jackson Miller is going to be on our show, and we have a date. It's Thursday, February 25th at 8 p.m. We are so happy to have him on board, and he's taken some time out of his busy schedule. He's constantly working. He's got deadlines he has to meet, and he's coming on board. We got him. It's set. We're going to be advertising it, and so you guys heard it first for tuning in. That's what you get. You get the scoops.
And he's got a new project that he may either
Yeah.
announce right beforehand or a little or during. We'll see. But he's working on a new project as we speak. That's why he couldn't come on earlier. We had mentioned his name before, but he was actually working with something. So
yeah, exactly.
And if you haven't read, there's a number of his books. He's got a short story in
the latest, The Empire Strikes Back.
The Empire Strikes Back from another point of view, which is
from another point of view.
I really probably need to do a book report. That sounds so high school. Hi.
That's what Galactica does for you.
Today, I'll stand up in front of the class, and today's book report's on. But yeah, it's.
Did you sign
really
the book
cool
out properly?
I'm sorry.
Did you sign it out correctly?
But yeah, if you haven't read any of those books, even though he's only got one short story in it, he's got other books out there. He's got a lot of Star Trek books. I just finished listening to, and I say listening to because I drive a lot, back and forth to work and back and forth to home. So I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and one of the audiobooks I listened to has been his most recent Star Trek Discovery book, Die Standing, and it's a really good book. Really gets it reaches back into the Star Trek older school style, and if you like Discovery, it actually also gives you a good feeling of the character. So even of course the narrator does a lot of that work, but it's all written for him. But it's really good. So we'll cut it there. We got, we're already at how much time we got here? We're already at 30 minutes, and
cool. Well,
I can talk about books for a long time because I listen to
forever
a lot of books.
Forever.
Yeah,
However, look, Chris, I'll just quickly bullet this out. Then we have a playwright,
yes,
Jeff Kirkland.
That's so cool. I can't wait for that.
We're going to we're going to do the actual, right? We're going to do his. He wrote an award-winning script play, and he's letting us do it on IFB. So we're going to actually have it up, and so that's in the wings. We have the go. I spoke to him today. He told me that we could definitely announce the fact that yeah. So he says, put it out. Jeff Kirkland's coming, and we're gonna actually do a reading of his one of his plays. He's got one that's being put out. I think it's coming up, and he was selected in international playwright. There was a festival, and so he got into that. He was selected, and so we're doing one of his earlier ones. We also have Marcelo Arias from Chile, the CGI tech guy. He sent us up an interview, so we're gonna have that set up, and so that's in the wings. Those are confirmed.
That's my fault. I'm in the process of editing that interview so we can make sure that we have an English speaking. It's subtitled right now. I'm putting actually an English speaking voice into it, so it's easier to use.
Yeah, and his stuff, his work is tremendous.
Oh my gosh, he made something special just for us.
For us, and the guy, wow. I mean, he's a huge fan, right? Mm-hmm. And he did something for us, and he videotaped himself. He's never done that before, right? So this is the first time he's actually going public, and he's in Chile. He's in South America. So he did this for IFB, and we want to do right by him. So, thank you, Marcelo, for setting that up.
If you're out there listening, Marcelo, you're
awesome.
Yes. All right. So, Chris, let's leave the last little.
You got one. You want to leave that last thing for last, then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's up to you. Do you want to?
I'm sorry.
You want to do it? You do it.
Oh, I'll let you do it. I'm okay with that. We can do it till end.
No.
We can hook them in.
Wait a minute. So let's do one each. Let's do one each.
Okay.
You announce one, and I'll announce the other one.
But which one am I announcing?
Oh, you got the setup for it.
Uh-oh. I'm drawing a blank. It's that 52-year-old thing going on here right now.
Oh man, put on your Cylon brain number 3 and you'll be fine.
Cylon brain number 3 is in bed right now, evidently.
Nothing like being honest. Sean's here. Lisa's here. Thank you for joining us. We're just about to dive into the chapter. At the end of the chapter, which is a short one, we're actually going to announce 2 new segments that we have in store for everyone. We're going to have a lot of fun with these, and we already have guests lined up for both. Mm-hmm. So we have somebody that's working on a project for yours, and I already got a couple of people lined up.
The grill one, right?
Yeah.
And yours would be the Centon thing.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes. Yep. So we got stuff cooking, guys. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Literally.
And oh, yeah. All right. So look, Chris, this brings us then to chapter 7, which you said is.
Are you ready?
You said, yeah. Go.
Let me do the intro so we can cut it later and put there. So ready? Everybody stand by. It's time for
Book versus episode.
Cylon's rule. You see that?
Oh my God. Cool. If you didn't say something silly like that, then you wouldn't be you.
Oh, well, but Cylon's rule. That's just cool. That's just cool.
Okay,
Cylon blowing apart the
Cylons
thing,
don't.
That's
don't
awesome.
Rule. No, they don't rule. Okay, so.
All right, so we're back to chapter 7.
Yeah. Okay. Sean says they do.
Yeah, see?
Lola,
Sean knows.
Lola, come on, Lola. Wait. I'm waiting for it because Lola's gonna come in and save the day. However, chapter 7, like all the other chapters, obviously starts with the Adama journals,
Yes.
and like the chapter, it's a really short entry. It's just like one big paragraph,
Yeah, this is
right?
like only one page this time.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes they're like three
it's like a
pages. This one's just
third of a page. Yeah,
yeah,
and so it's page 157 in the the American
the American version.
paperback. Yeah,
I'm sure it's about the same on
and
the Canadian one, but the hardback is probably different.
I got to tell you, Chris, this one particular Adama journal. Now, like yourself, I read this book when it first came out,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is right at the time. I believe around the premiere. I think it was right before Christmas. Yeah, right before Christmas. So October, November, I think is when I got my hands on this, and from then, how many years forward, one little thing that always stuck in my mind was the fact that in this Adama journal, they talk about or they mention that the family, Adama, Apollo, Athena, Zach,
Mm-hmm.
this is a African military family, and it doesn't start with Adama.
Right, starts with his dad.
Yeah, at least that we know of, right?
Right.
So his father passes command to Adama.
Yeah, and I don't. This is the weird thing. I mean, so yeah, he's telling a story about how his dad passed the. I mean, it sounds like a monarchy. It doesn't
Yes.
sound like hey, I earned it through. And I'm not saying he was a bad, it was a bad choice, but I'm just saying, it's almost like a monarchy. He's like, just because I'm an Adama, I get the ship turned over to me like a Queen of England type thing. So it was kind of
Well,
it's kind of strange that
look,
the way they wrote that.
we know that Caprica has the premier military academy.
Yes.
As far as we know, I don't believe that anywhere in either the television, right, the show itself, or the book. And I know, we got Eric and we got Sean on, so I don't think they ever mentioned another academy. I think the academy, like the Colonial West Point, is on Caprica. So
That'd be interesting. Kind of like
if it is
Star Trek with the
Starfleet,
Starfleet Academy.
yeah. So if you graduate from the premier, like the West Point, right?
Mm-hmm.
You it stands to reason that if you come from one of the older, military gentrified families, that they got the best education, they've been in the business, they got the best commands. It stands to reason that maybe in their culture, this is normal. You rise up through this is like almost like the feudal system, right? Where your family's a military family, then if you follow, you're going to be something. You're not going to end up being a shoemaker. That's kind of like
Yeah,
that
it's definitely
state
like
of
a
my
monarchy type thing. Yeah.
yeah. So it stayed in my brain. I always thought of like and the way Chris, the way they talked about the military in Galactica, it always resonated with they. There's a healthy respect for them.
Mm-hmm.
The civilians are in charge. However, when it comes to these military things, they are, they always turn to them, right? There's nobody else. I mean, this is it. These are the guys that are. There's, you know, the colonies themselves. I don't think they ever discussed, and guys that are out there listening, right? I never heard them ever say that there were planetary defense forces or other colonies having militias. I think there is reference to battle stars coming from maybe different colonies. We know that the
Right.
colonies,
They're
uh,
representative of those colonies.
yeah, but there's so I wonder if their system from each colony is mirrored like this, like Adama, right?
Oh yeah, like
Look, Kane.
you move up as a king. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
know.
Kane
But
getting command of the Pegasus. as he would eventually intend to pass to Apollo and living legend.
I know
He
this is going to
passed
be
on
off
to
subject,
Troy.
but we never knew where. So we know that the Galactica represented Caprica, and we know there's just. And also, we know there's not just 12 battle stars. Okay, we could go hours on that. I get it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
Don't go there. But so, what did the Pegasus represent? If it wasn't Caprica, what was it? Was it Tauron? Was it Sagittarian?
That's a good question. That's a great question.
We could always make something up. It's our universe.
Yeah, we could, but it's just it's really interesting, right? It's fascinating. And guess what? Sheba is serving under her father on the Pegasus, just like
so it's like a monarch. Yeah, definitely a monarch.
Yeah, it's like almost like a feudal system that's going on.
We could guess if there was a continuation of Battlestar Galactica, which there wasn't, unfortunately, but we know that. I know I'm already stabbing you again. Sorry about that. So if there was a continuation of Battlestar Galactica, we could probably assume that Apollo would have been the next commander of the Battlestar Galactica, because that's just the monarchy style it goes.
Or Chris, any either Zach or Athena would also be in line if they reached high enough command, right?
I don't think Athena would have taken it, just because I don't know. It's possible.
It's
would have
possible,
been really
right?
interesting.
Yeah.
Anything with Athena is awesome for me. So.
Oh yeah, I know that. You have the soft spot. Sean says,
Athena,
"Open Pandora's
there,
box." Go ahead.
Me. Contact me, Athena.
Eric says the living. Listen to this. The living legend. Eric's telling us that the living legend novelization, I think, had Kane being from Caprica too. That is very interesting. Sean, guys, remember? Oh hell yeah! Larson wanted a family drama. Wagon Train plus family.
Yep.
So yeah, there you go. So it makes sense, right?
Very good point.
It definitely makes sense. Yeah, thanks, guys. So the and this concept of the passing of the command is in a farewell address, a valedictory that Adama.
Did we just talk for almost 10 minutes on one on I almost said the bad word.
On one line.
On
one line.
On one
sentence. Yeah. Yes.
It was awesome though.
It was. So and what else was there? Okay, so that's kind of it. Like, so Adama's like reminiscing, and he thinks about, all right, so there's a little bit of foreshadowing in this. So he talks about how he grew up and picked up certain things as he got into his command. And whenever they seem to be all in place, he's always looking for what's missing.
Yeah.
What is not there? And that plays into the rest of the chapter and the story.
Right. I like the way, I think he mentions in there is like, he has a statement. He says, after hearing that from his father, he would even go to an art gallery, and at the art gallery, he would look at a picture and go, what did they leave out and why?
Yes.
Instead of just looking at the art itself, he would always be wondering, what did they leave out and why? Which is foreshadowing for this chapter, because, of course, we know that, what did they leave out and why is a really good segue into, what, here we are, everything looks great. We always hear the episodes or the things, there's no such thing as a free lunch. There's those are common.
Never.
Yeah. So there's something, when's the shoe fall? What's missing? And that's what he gets from his dad.
Sean's reminding you that you should be using the word frack.
Frack. I know, Sean. I know it's.
You're caught up with the buttons, man. Leave the buttons alone.
I like the buttons.
You do. You can't help that. So, Chris, this chapter has 3 sections, or 3 scenes.
Yes.
And then so now the first one, and like you said, these are short. It tells us, it talks about how Apollo and Serena are taken physically by the Ovions underground, and there's a reveal, right? So they're whisked away, right? They're taken underground, and like they mentioned before, there's like a pod that they get into, and really quickly they're taken to see the queen, and so there's this interaction now with the Ovion queen, and so this thing has a little bit of a reveal,
Yeah, but
right?
did you notice
So
that before we get there? Did you notice they talk to the queen? Of course, Serena walks in and it's the beautiful area. So they really did a good job in the episode of making the flowing robes and the flowing things, and the colors. All of those were in the book as well as in the show, but there was no Langratron. I hate to break it to you. Sorry, no Langratron in the book. There was no magical device that translated information from a colony.
So yeah,
which is cool. Don't get me wrong, but the book, it was kind of neat that the book kind of addressed the situation when she talked, it was a lot of high pitched squealing in her voice, but they could hear it.
Yeah. So she obviously they can communicate. They didn't get into that, but they do mention. I think they talk a little bit about in the presence of the queen's chamber, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's they're looking, like you said, they're looking around and they're taking in some of the details. So that's pretty interesting.
And the Ovions are short.
Yes.
That part I didn't get. I didn't. It's like, wow, they're really short. So evidently they're extremely short. And I don't know if they're. Oh, I don't know. I'm always worried about. They're short.
Yeah, no, they are.
People.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So, but the queen, they describe her as extremely tall. So that's kind of a neat idea that so they
differentiates her from the others.
Right.
So there's it's kind of interesting because when they get into her chamber, right? So there's a little entertainment, there's a little bit of music, they describe it, and then of course they meet up with Boxy and the rest of the crew, or not the rest of the crew, but the rest of the guys, and Boomer's actually, yeah, and they're like, oh, and check this out, there's a casino, and they're like, what? Yeah, there's like a casino, like upstairs, like a couple levels above us. There's like a casino, man. Like, what are you talking about?
At Starbucks, like he's drinking something out of a hexagonal fruit. As they come up, hey, how's it going? He's good. And then he's like, hey, have you tried the orange wine?
He's like, whoa, no, yeah, hold off, man. We're on duty here. That's why I liked Apollo, man. He's the straight man, and Starbucks is like, hey, what the hell, man? So they're getting food. There's plenty of food, plenty of fuel.
It even says Jolly's got stains on his tunic.
Yeah.
From all the food. Wow,
and
poor Jolly's getting freaking skewered over there. Like, oh, who's the comic relief in this episode? Oh, let's get the fat guy over there. Hey, Jolly.
And he's holding like the leg of something and he's eating it. Yeah, come on, man. So
poor Jolly.
Poor Jolly. So that's more or less that piece of it. And then what was interesting though was it obviously in writing, it plays out a little bit different obviously than the actual premiere, right? Because it just the way they filmed it doesn't exactly play one with the other. So there's definitely the differences because we always wanted to
the elevators mentioned. That's one of the things I didn't notice. The elevators mentioned in the book. A little different than in the show. So the elevator actually moves side to side and up and down. It's a Wonkavator.
Oh, yeah,
it's
exactly.
Not an elevator, it's a Wonkavator. So it talks about it being able to move side to side, and they were really impressed with that. So
right. Miami Lou's with us. Welcome to the show, Miami.
Hey.
And
I like Miami Vice is one of my favorite shows. We won't go there.
Yes. Well, this is Miami Lou.
And Miami Lou.
Miami Lou. Yes.
Maybe Miami
Lou Miami Lou.
Vice. You never know.
Yeah, he was a Miami Vice type of guy.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show, Lou. Thanks for tuning in. And all right, so hey, Roger's with us too. So
Roger's cool. Roger's definitely need to get with him on. Need to get him in here. We'll talk about that later on. But
we will because I've reached out to him. Absolutely, Eric too. But Eric
Oh,
says
Eric's
totally
on?
different from
Cool.
totally different from the episode where Jolly is still with Apollo and Serena. Absolutely. And that kind of wraps up that, one of three. It's there's only three sections, three scenes in this chapter. And the next one now, Chris,
What?
is
Okay. Yeah, you're going moving on to the next one. The
yeah,
Imperious
because I
Leaders.
mean this is it.
That's the
I
best
know,
part
I
of the
know, I
whole
know.
chapter.
Oh my God! See, where we go.
If it wasn't for this part of it, the chapter would have been nah.
Yes, of course, Chris. Come on, man.
Yeah.
This is all you here.
Yeah, but we got
All
the
you.
Imperious Leader now. So I like the Imperious Leader part of this because he's bored. So he's got all these brains and he's actually, it talks about him thinking of mundane things that are correct, but just really mundane. And so he's, waiting to hear about where the Galactica is. And he starts thinking back to when he had a scientist captured, which is really a cool idea. So they captured a scientist, brought him in, and I guess the best word I could use for this is toyed with him for a while, because they talked back and forth to the point where the scientist actually, started getting bored with answering questions. And the Cylons doesn't understand the word boredom. So the scientist kind of fills them in on what boredom really means. And the Cylons are like, you think we're boring? So later. But he gets the idea what boredom is. And he says, well, I love there's a statement in there that he says, the scientist says, why do you keep answering the same monotone voice and everything else? So I'm bored. So they start talking about boredom, and he's like, well, from what you described, you're not bored now. So talking about boredom is a cure for boredom. That's a really unique way of looking at things. So you could say, the relief of boredom is talking about boredom. So they started doing a conversation back and forth with boredom. And in the end, of course, the Imperious Leader gets angry with him and sends him away, which is funny because the Imperious Leader says, I don't even remember what happened to him.
Yeah, he doesn't know if he had him executed or not.
I probably had him beheaded or executed.
Yeah.
Of course. It's not worth putting into my brain cells in regards to what happened to this individual. So,
all right. So
it's funny that the Cylons now he's reflecting back on that, and face it, he's bored.
He's bored.
There's no war. There's nothing going on. What do you do? So
the other thing that was really fascinating about how they laid out some really interesting details though. One brain, when you get your first brain, it hates inactivity.
Yes.
The second brain hates confusion. The third brain despises both. So without the third brain, you don't have the capability of despising both.
You don't have
the
that
first one hates, of some sort, right? So the first one hates inactivity, so you constantly have to be thinking and active. The second one hates confusion, so the second one gives you the concept of being orderly, right? And then the third one, this is able to then despise, because that's a quote. That's I think the way they wrote it was, despising of those two concepts are now in the third brain capability. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. No, I do not. I don't want to get close to that
brains
thing.
fighting in your head.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll stick to my one. You can have the three. So that was kind of cool, right? It threw in a little bit of detail.
But the great thing is, at the end of this, at the end of that little segment is the commander from the planet, which, by the way, that's one of my cool things. If you notice this, he's the only one in the Battlestar Galactica series as a Cylon that actually has an insignia in the video or on the movie right here on his collar, and he's a battalion commander. Nowhere else is there ever any other insignias anywhere on any of the
Right.
other Cylons, other than, of course, the gold one, Volpa.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so he's got to say, so he calls in and says, "Hey, they're here. We're in contact with the Ovions." I can't remember where in this chapter. It might not be. It may be the first one or the second portion of this, but it mentions that they captured the Ovions and brought them to the planet.
It's right. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. And so
that's an interesting concept, that the Cylons use slaves,
Yes.
or let certain species live to do their bidding.
Correct. But
I'm okay with that.
Not
Just
only, but get this, you're crazy. Listen to me. Listen to me. Turn off your third brain, because there is something very interesting as well to go along with all of this. And it says that the mines that were protecting Carillon were set up by Cylons by treaty with the Ovions. So that's right.
That's
We just
kind of
laid out
back and forth
that they're
there.
slaves, right? Yeah. So they're slaves. They were people that were a race that was enslaved, brought to Carillon, and yet there was some type of a treaty with them. So that was kind of weird. But yeah, so you see, it's just, obviously the Cylons have their own specific way of doing business, seeing, their reality is not the human reality, right? So we
Right.
may see it as a contradiction, but to them it's not. So that gave them a
Right.
little bit of, I was
They
like,
have
wow, that's kind of,
that there's
yeah,
order in the universe when we do this. So order is what the Cylons are all about. So
yeah. Well, so yeah, and that's pretty much the last part of it. Then we're done with the two sections, and we're now into the third
right,
of this chapter.
which
And
is a
this
mind
one,
blower, by the way. This part of this,
oh yeah,
I'm like, what? So go ahead. Hang on,
Adama's in his
zoom in on
quarters.
Pete. Go ahead, Pete.
All right. So Adama's in his quarters, and he's dictating his journal, right? So the Adama journal, in that typical fashion that we see in the show itself, he's talking into the microphone, and Ty, there's a knock on the door. Ty comes in, and there's a something that stood out for me, Chris, was the fact that Ty is a report writer. He likes to write reports. And so Adama's like, is this in the report? What are you talking about? So there is now the last portion of, the uproar that's going on. So now there's this issue, and Ty's bringing it up, and we find out definitively what Adama's role was on the council. So that wasn't. Chris and I talked about this just before we went on air, and it was not stated, but now we know for a fact what Adama's role was. So, Chris, you want to actually mention that?
I mean, it's mind blowing that. So they're like, it kind of goes across where Ty comes in and says, "Hey, Sire Yuri has issued passes for all these people to go down to the surface of the and of course Adama, knowing, hey, that's not a good idea. But Adama, knowing that's not a good idea, says, hey, we should stop that. And Ty comes back and says, yeah, we probably could have if you would have stayed on as president.
What?
This is the first time in the
they used the
chapters
title.
We talked about him resigning, and it was resigning. It always mentioned like a commission, get rid of the fleet, resigning his commission, running, turning over the Galactica.
Yes.
Somehow this chapter turns over to be president.
Yes.
So
and Sean says
that one come in.
Yeah. Well, Sean mentioned something very interesting. He just put up and said that only surviving member of the original council is Adama.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
That's right. So he would have automatically become president, But they didn't
Yeah,
mention
so
that in the other chapters.
no, but he was going to resign, and it
Right.
was they made it clear he was resigning.
resigning
He
from the
was going to
council.
resign. The
Right.
council didn't mention that he was the president, and that he was also he was contemplating resigning his commission as well, right?
Yeah,
He was thinking of
quitting.
stepping down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going to quit altogether. So yeah, big one.
I was like,
And Eric
President?
says,
What?
yeah, Eric says, but it makes sense now that we
Yeah.
talk about it, right? In this, the scene sets up the fact that the Imperious leader isn't going to Carillon with his ship like in the episode. How about that? That's interesting as well.
That's right. The Imperious leader was at Carillon in the ship.
Yeah. So,
Very good, Eric. Thank you.
yeah.
I'm not
So,
sleeping tonight.
all right. So, look, a couple of things that I picked out in this last section was that Yuri's creating problems, Sire Yuri and or Uri, and Dama also mentions that the livestock is being fed, and something we talked about previously, that the agriculture growths have sprouted. So whatever they planted is now getting it's getting bigger, obviously, and Athena is mentioned in this, and she's an ensign. How about that?
Yeah.
You like that? I
I like
picked up
that.
on her rank.
Oh, anything
Yeah.
about Athena I like.
Yeah, that's why I had
But
to
also
mention it.
Athena goes into the office and into his quarters. So after Ty leaves, Athena walks in. Thank you, Athena, for walking in. Just a vision of her walking in. Yes, I love Athena. Anyways, she walks in, and being the strong woman she is, she says, "Hey, I request permission to go to the surface." And and of course Adama at this point is like, "Well, why don't you ask Sire Yuri?" I said, "Whoa, wait a minute, Dad. That's not how I work. Is if Sire Yuri said it, I wouldn't go. So I'm asking permission to go down. So why do you want to go down? Oh, you want to go down because of Starbuck."
Starbuck.
And she goes, "Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes, and he's like, "Well, he's like, go get him, Tiger," type thing, hey, go get him, daughter, make him pay.
Yeah.
And she's like,
That's
"Is that
right.
an order?" I said, "Yeah, it's an order." Man, what I wouldn't give to be Starbuck, you were an idiot. That's just me, but so
Hey,
she's
listen.
headed down to the surface. We'll see how that plays out. So we know how it plays out in the episode. How does it play out in the book?
Right.
So.
Well, since you mentioned that, the last thing that comes up is that Adama is taking a shuttle to the surface.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Adama
Yeah.
is taking a shuttle. Wait a minute. What's that? That's not in the show. How is this working out? How did Adama go to the surface?
Yeah. So
wasn't he in the Viper talking to Ty saying, "Hey, we need to send our guys down there because something could happen. I'm going to take a gamble on this." But
it's a cliffhanger.
In the book, it's like he's going to the surface. I'm like,
he's going to the surface, and it's a cliffhanger. So this is where it kind of leaves us right here. This is where it's at, right? That Adama's taking a shuttle, and that's it.
Next week.
That's right. That's right. So
tune in next week for the exciting conclusion of whatever this is.
That's right.
Chapter 4. I mean,
chapter
8.
Yep.
Chapter
Whoa,
8.
easy, buddy. You're all over the place tonight. Actually, right? The Adama journal is it's a short one as well. Chapter 8. I mean, we kind of mentioned this last time. 8, 9, and 10 are not that long.
It kind of comes to the book kind of comes to a really sudden stop.
Yeah, it does.
Like, wow, is it like?
I wonder.
Hey, we reached 200 pages. Oh, we gotta stop.
All right, let's end this.
I got many pages here.
Yeah, 244 to be exact. But
yeah.
Well, so that leaves it for the next our next episode. But we promised that we would then kind of bring up the last couple of things that we had on our agenda for today.
Right. So for video purposes, tune in next week for the video, or tune in next week for chapter 8 of the episode, book versus episode. And now we can talk about something new.
Correct.
I gotta make cut points, sooner or later. So
yeah.
So all those people that are on, that sounded weird, but we'll cut it later and it'll be on YouTube. So.
All right. Well,
so
Chris...
now we got some really cool stuff. It wasn't cool before, so this is really interesting announcement stuff. So we'll let Pete do his part first, and I'll do mine. So
yeah. All right,
take it
cool.
away, Pete.
All right, Chris. Thanks, man. We have brainstormed. We had a couple of production meetings, and we have come to a consensus. And we will start adding a 10 centons with found colonies of fans. And we've lined up yeah, you like that?
That's that, by the way.
No, well, you actually did, but that's beside the point. So you came up with we're gonna have
part of it.
10-minute spots with various other fans that have created a presence, and so we have a bunch of them lined up, and we have others that we're reaching out to, and so we wanted to basically put it out there and let you guys know as a scoop for tuning in. So we're going to incorporate those 10 centons with found colonies of fans into probably every other episode. We'll have a little 10-minute spot, and we'll have a little bit of a background on who the fan is and what they've done, what Battlestar Galactica means to them. And so, like a little bit of a spotlight on them and maybe their Facebook group and the like. So that's something that we came up with, and I think we have a lot of fun with that. And of course, let's not forget that we have a trivia contest in the wings. And we already have piece.
We've got some really cool, exciting trivia stuff going on. So
yes. And,
everybody will be able to participate, which is the important piece. Everybody before we couldn't participate, so we're looking at getting everybody to participate. So
so that's definitely gonna play. And the trivia, we have guests already lined up. You guys know who you are. And then the 10 centon spot, we have a list. I already have a list. I've reached out to just a couple of new faces.
Roger, if you're still on, you're on the list.
Yes, and Sean, obviously you're on the list, and you guys are on the hook anyway.
Sean,
yeah. And Eric and a lot of the a lot of our regulars are all on the list as well. And so we tested this a little bit. We got the idea rolling, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But so that's my part of this. And, again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, supporting. Lola wanted to see the front of the book again. So there you go, Lola. This is my reading copy of, not my original copy, my reading copy of Battlestar Galactica. So that's for Lola. And then there was Chris's announcement. Let her go.
Dun, dun, dun. Hang on. I need to get the drum roll thing.
You got to do it, man. Close. Come on.
I got to get the drum roll thing. So, anyways, we've been doing some work in my apartment, if you want to call it. It's a basement in some lady's place. So, anyways, yeah, I live in some lady's basement. That sounds horrible. Anyways, my apartment. We've been working in regards to.
It's your studio.
It's my studio. There we go. A studio. Well, it's not a studio apartment, but it's an apartment. Here in wonderful DC area. Let's we put it that way. And there's some cool things that we thought about doing, and one of the things we thought about doing, and we're going to be doing shortly, we've been setting up cameras and setting up. We'll be probably doing a test run this weekend. But keep your eyes open for Battlestar Bar and Grill. I wish. Hang on. Wait, it says
Battlestar Bar and Grill.
That sounds better. So the Battlestar Bar and Grill piece of it, we're actually going to make science fiction drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Can you say virgin? Is that right? Is that politically correct? I don't even know. I'm very non-politically correct, so if it's not politically correct, I'm sorry. I apologize for all of you non-virgins or virgins out there. So we're gonna put together some drinks that people can drink, and then we're also going to be doing some cooking part of it. So actually, I didn't know Pete had actually worked at putting together at one point in time a cooking show. I did not know this. He said it the other day. I was like, what? So Pete had actually put together a cooking show, so he'll be doing some of the grill part of it. So we'll be putting together some really cool recipes and drink recipes, and we'll be actually doing it. Everybody's like, well, why don't you just record it? I'm like, you know what? I like live. The live is more you and me type thing. So we have the live thing, and then I could actually do it from there, and then it is recorded after that. So why not just do it live to begin with? So we'll be doing some of the drinks and things mixing live on this program. Maybe probably once a month we'll do a Battlestar. Hang on.
Battlestar Bar and Grill
piece of it. So we'll actually have some of that coming out. So that's kind of a cool idea that we came up with, and once again, it's just we can share some of our drinks like Sex and a Viper. I know that is an actual drink, by the way. And some other drinks and some other food, not just from Battlestar though, but we'll be looking at things like Blue Milk, Mother's Milk. Those are some things that you may not know what they are. So some of you Firefly fans out there maybe know what Mother's Milk is.
Oh my God.
Jane would know. So those are the kind of things we're looking to do in regards to the Battlestar Bar and Grill, and we'll actually be doing a new page for that. We back and forth in regards to what we're going to do, but I think we're going to create another page off of Interfleet Broadcasting and make it sort of a channel. It's kind of the things that we look at when we first started this. We were looking at things to put in, if you're a broadcasting company. Anybody ever watch UHF with Weird Al? If not, look that up. It's a really cool show. You have different channels. So a channel would be, in regards to Battlestar Bar and Grill, would be its own channel off of Interfleet Broadcasting. So that's my big announcement. We'll go back to, that's the cool thing. I was long-winded. That was really long-winded.
Yeah, you got to turn off the second brain, please.
The third brain's asleep in the bed, evidently. The second brain is still going.
That might be the problem, but let me tell you something. Sean has just given us 2 of his drinks, so we're gonna have to feature them.
We'll have to feature them.
Yes,
we'll have to make
Sean,
them on air.
We are gonna make them on air. The first one is a Starbuck and 7, and the second one, and the second one is Whiskey Warriors. How about that?
I like it.
Huh? Yeah.
I can tell. Sneak peek. Wow, that was bad. Sneak peek.
Battlestar and bourbon
for our very for our February 14th Valentine's Day style drink. It's going to be called the Socialator.
Okay, so and then the Whiskey Warrior, Starbuck and 7, and the Battlestar bourbon. Sean, you're gonna have to give us recipes, and
we'll make them on air, Sean. If you send them to us, we'll make them.
But see if you hook them up and then take some pictures, and we're gonna put them up. And then if you do a spot, and we have
Sean, we could probably bring you on if you want.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Ioannis Brain is on with us as well. So, Ioannis, welcome to the show. And so all right, we got.
Did we lose our Australia person? Stuff. Yes, we lost our Australia person.
I'm not too sure.
Maybe they're busy tonight. I can't remember.
It's possible.
I'm so sorry. I'm horrible.
There was a couple. There was a couple of our followers, fans were watching from Australia, but nonetheless. Everybody, thanks for tuning in, right, Chris? Fans fuel the fleet, and we had a great time as usual. Looking forward to some of the other great episodes and segments that we have planned. And we're gonna do we definitely going to do a collectors segment. And I know Roger, we got you on the hook for a collectors one.
Yep.
And then trivia. We said I got a couple of committed parties, including Sean.
Suckers. Outstanding.
Oh my
individuals.
God, you went there. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. So that's coming up. And
They'll get Starbucked. Look that up in the book. You can get Starbucks.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, Chris. I mean, we covered a lot of ground today, and
Yes,
I think we had a lot of fun. So I guess, yeah. Look, find us on YouTube, Interfleet Broadcasting. Obviously, we're on Facebook. We do Twitter. We cover some of the other social media as well, but our main for now is the Facebook, the Twitter, and of course YouTube. So guys, please don't forget to like. Don't forget to give us those. Those likes are very, very important, so we can get to the next level platform as well as the YouTube. Get on there and subscribe and give us the likes as well. And we having a lot of fun with this, and we look forward to continuing. Please stop by and keep showing all the support. We really love having you on board, and we're going to be doing bigger and better. And let's not forget that at some point, and hopefully in the near future, conventions will be back. And we're big convention goers. We got the tributes coming, and we're asking that you guys send us, help us out, work with us so we can, share stories, share pictures, experiences. So that's going to be a big part, because it was always our dream, obviously to give back and to share with you guys. So, we're asking that, you come be a part of the show and the program as well, because it's just as much a show for you guys, right? I mean, this is for you as well as for us, right? It's one big happy family as far as I'm concerned, and we're having a good time with it.
I can tell you, we enjoy the frack out of it. There we go. How's that?
Perfect. Sean's all for it. So thanks, Sean. We really appreciate it. So good night, everybody. Wherever you may be, right? Stay safe, right? And looking forward to, I guess, having everybody back on board on our next show, which is February 7th. Is the live Sunday. This Sunday. So this is if you're watching this anytime in the future, obviously the next episode up is our tribute to Captain Apollo, Richard Hatch, and we have a special guest. Dave Karen will be on with us, and he's going to bring a whole bunch of unique, never before seen stories, images. I think we have some video clips. He's been out there, and he's a fan just like us, and he's in the business. So we're happy to have him, and we're going to have a really nice tribute, part 1 of 2. And so you guys stay safe. And stay Nick, safe. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching.
Tuning in. Stay safe, stay healthy, and fans, fuel the fleet. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't keep Battlestar going like we do, and other science fiction shows, of course. So once again,
keep the faith.
See y'all Sunday, and we'll keep the faith. Take care.
Take care.